Welcome to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
who you know
can make all the difference in your job search.
Absolutely.
I am here with Mr. AllwaysGood, and we are at the Next Level Sales Conference, the first ever Next Level Sales Conference.
Yes.
Mr. AllwaysGood, what's going on?
Man, it's been a great day so far.
Been a great day?
Been a great day. I know there's been a lot of value been given out there so far. I mean, having Dr. Steve Lawson talking about the emotional intelligence part of it to close out the morning.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, that was a great speech that he gave up there.
Yeah.
What were some of your key takeaways from that?
You know, I mean, the fact that a lot of us like to play that game that he talked about with our significant others, with our friends, where we feel angry about something, but then we get mad at ourselves because we do it too, and then we're like, maybe I shouldn't feel this way.
Yeah.
And then we don't do anything, and then when they call us out on it, we lie about it, and it just keeps going down that perpetual road. And it's just remember that your emotions are not good or bad.
Right.
Your emotions are there for you to tell you something, and how you choose to react to them is what makes the difference.
Yeah, to identify why you are feeling which way, whether it's angry, sad, mad, glad, happy, whatever your emotions are, to figure out why. I think that's super important so that you can identify how to react differently or alter your actions afterwards, right? So he was teaching a lot about emotional intelligence. So that was a great, what was his name again?
It's Dr. Steve Lawson.
Dr. Steve Lawson.
Actually has a great book. I'm going to go grab it. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to plug this guy's book here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I got to plug this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, here we go.
Dr. Steve Lawson. Yeah, it was
Giant killer.
Giant
killers.
Giant killers.
Yeah, so it's and it takes the emotional intelligence portion of it, and it tells it through a story that I think a lot of us have probably heard of, David and Goliath.
Yes.
So what are the Goliaths in your life? What are those giants that you need to slay?
Got it. Love that.
An amazing book. I read it in about 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's important for people to understand. I mean, one of the things that he was talking about up there was about, like in a sales situation, to understand and to have empathy for people on the other end, right? To understand and put yourself in their shoes, to understand where they're coming from, because it may be a situation where they're not buying from you or taking action or moving in a positive direction, the direction that you want to ultimately take them, but it may not have anything to do with you or your process or how you, anything to do with what's going on that you've done, but maybe there's something in their family life, or they've, lost their job, or who knows what the situation is that they're going through in their life. So to really have empathy and to figure out where people are, that's something I always do, is to try to reverse engineer things in my processes, to put myself in their shoes always.
Absolutely, always. I mean, you have to. So it's one of the things that I found is I think a lot of times we talk about empathy a lot. I think people fail to remember that the first step to empathy is taking off your shoes. You cannot walk in someone else's shoes until you have taken off yours. And every salesperson is also a buyer.
Right.
So why not sell from your buyer's shoes?
100%, yeah. It's something that you have to really try to slow down a little bit, right? Because oftentimes when you're in a sales position, you have your end goal in mind, right? You're at step 1 and you're trying to get them to step 10, and you're trying to figure out the fastest route to get them there. But if you were to slow down, really ask the right questions, figure out what their motivations are, where they are in life, and how can you meet them where they are? How can you help them and be a resource to them, not just try to sell them something? Nobody wants to be sold anything.
No.
Right? I mean, even salespeople like us, right? We don't like being sold to. I don't think anybody does.
No, I don't know. I don't think anybody. You're right on that one.
Yeah.
I've never met one person that likes to be sold.
Now, I will say that sales, to me, a good salesperson, a really good salesperson, really, they're not selling anything. They're really really good at customer service. They're good at leading. They're good at listening and figuring out how to motivate you to take action, to put you in a better place ultimately than where you are.
Yeah.
Right. If you've ever had a bad sales experience, you know what that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And if you've ever had a good sales experience, they're geniuses. You look at that person, you're like, that guy is a rock star.
You feel like you're talking to a friend.
Totally.
That's all it is.
Man,
I guess you just were there to help me with the questions I needed answers to. You were there to guide me through the process. But again, it's their decision.
Yes.
It's not when I'm selling somebody or my services even, it's their decision to make.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with whether or not I think they should do it. I always think they should do it.
Right. Of course.
But they have to think they should do it. But me belittling them or berating them on it or trying to pull some sleazy tactics or using some funny lines. Right. It's like when I introduced myself to my wife, I didn't walk up and use some weird pickup line. I just walked up and said, "Hi, my name's Joe. What's yours?"
Right.
Because who's not going to be friendly to that? And why would you not want to do what is normal and commonplace in life? When you're selling somebody something, just remember that you like to buy stuff too. Mm-hmm. And it's their decision to make.
Well, and it's also about how do you want to be viewed? What's the perception that you want to be viewed at? Do you want to be viewed as like and we were both in the car industry, mm-hmm. right? The used car sales guy, the sleazy used car sales guy. Do you want to be viewed as that mm-hmm. or the trusted advisor?
Yes.
When you are working with a trusted advisor, you go in, there's no confrontation usually, right? Because there's this trust that's already built and established, and you go in looking for counsel. You go in looking for advice. You go in looking for, direction, because you know that they have your best interest in mind. Mm-hmm. Right? That they're not just trying to sell you something or put you in whatever, you know what I'm saying? So where do you want to be in your career? Do you want to be that sleazy salesperson, or do you want to be that trusted advisor, that person that is looked at and perceived in a different way?
Absolutely.
What's easier to do? Let me ask you that. What would be easier, to be the sleazy sales guy or to be the trusted advisor? What's easier?
So we actually take that. We say that for the trusted advisor, but we call it a help artist.
A help artist.
Here at AllwaysGood, we call it a help artist because that's remembering your purpose. Your purpose is to help your client get what they want. It's just that simple. Here's the thing, though. Is it easier to use the tools work to manipulate? Because if you've been in sales or gone through any real sales training, or been in sales long enough, you are skilled and taught how to influence people. Okay. And I could use my skills for influence to get every sale that I could possibly get, make more money, be sleazy about it, or I can make the hard choice to do the right thing, which in turn will then lead to much easier outcomes later.
So like maybe if you know you're not the best person for the job, directing them to someone else, right?
Yes.
Instead of just taking them on as a client anyways,
mm-hmm.
which would be the easy thing to do and probably the more satisfying thing to do because
right
now today, right? And I've had several cases like that in my career where I have, obviously I could have taken the business, but there was an opportunity I had to make a decision to say, you know what, I don't think I'm the right person for you. For whatever reason it was, but I don't think I'm the right person for you. I can direct you to someone else that I think might be a better fit. Mm-hmm. And because I made that decision, the automatically trusted advisor, automatically you go to that next level.
Yes.
You go from being sleazy sales guy to being that trusted advisor. And what you've done is you've created an advocate for you. That advocate now goes around in the community, and they are like your salesperson. They're out there telling people, "You need this guy. You can trust this guy. This guy, he won't take advantage of you. He isn't a sleazy sales guy. He is a trusted advisor." Like you create your own sales team out there in the community by doing the right thing. Pure and simple. Just do the right thing.
Absolutely.
And it will come back. It may that very day, right? I didn't get it back.
Yeah,
but. You get it back tenfold.
Oh yeah, but it works the same. If I would have taken advantage of that person,
right,
and I would have said, yes, I'm going to take your sale right now.
Right now, I'm going to
because I can do it right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to lose 100 deals because of it.
Oh, you will, because all of a sudden, what you probably will end up having is because you won't be able to fulfill the needs of that client for whatever reason, because you knew it wasn't right to begin mm-hmm. with. Right, deep down, you'll know the difference. You weren't able to fulfill the need. That client isn't going to be happy. Okay, they're not going to be. You're not going to have enough value for them because they probably would never be happy to begin with because it wasn't the right fit. Mm-hmm. And so then they're probably going to take up more of your time, right? You're probably going to get more phone calls from that person.
Yep.
Right? One of the first things I do whenever I sit down with a prospect, I'll sit down and just see, like, first and foremost, are we going to get along?
Yep.
Is this going to be a good relationship? Because in any client advisor type of relationship, it is that. And so in any relationship, communication is super important. And as soon as, like even, personal relationships, if the first thing is communication, if communication isn't there, it's not going to be a good relationship.
Yeah.
So I like to find out, like, am I going to have to call this person over and over and over to get a hold of them? Are they going to be responsive? If I ask them to do something, are they going to challenge, right? Is it going to be this constant back and forth, right?
Yep.
Chasing. Nobody wants to be chased, and nobody wants to chase. I don't want to have to chase people, and they don't want to be chased.
No.
Right? They don't want somebody calling them over and over and over and stuff like that. So the very first thing that I try to establish when I sit down with somebody is, like, what is this relationship going to look like? How is our communication style? Is there going to be an issue with communication? Because if so, I don't think I'm going to be the best fit for you. I will remove myself.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I follow you entirely, because it's the thing to also to all the people out there who don't want to just say no to a salesperson. Say no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't waste other people's time.
Oh man.
Just don't waste people's time.
Right.
I don't waste my clients' time. Don't waste my time.
Totally. There is that that thing where people don't want to offend other people, right? They don't want confrontation. I think is a big thing, right? It's like, the salesperson comes to your home, let's say to sell you some windows,
right?
They do the estimate and the measuring and all that, and for whatever reason, you decided, no, I'm not ready. It's not the right time, or maybe they're not the right person for you for whatever reason. Just have the integrity to tell that person no, right? Don't avoid their phone calls,
right?
Not respond, all of a sudden go ghost on them.
And right? There's a bunch of people that you've worked with in the past, I'm sure, and there's a bunch we'll work with that you'll work with in the future, just like me, where they're gonna try to ghost you because they don't want just
confrontation.
Simply say no.
Yeah, they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they don't want to feel like you're gonna try to overcome, right?
Right.
So now they have to get in this battle of okay, well, if I tell him no, he's gonna ask why. And if I say why, then he's going to try to overcome it. And so now we're going back and forth in this sales experience. But please, just find a way, whether it's in an email.
Yes, text message, smoke signal, whatever.
Yeah,
just say no.
Because just say no.
Just say no. Yeah, we'll change it around. Only for that buyers, please. Just say no. Just say no.
Yeah, I encourage the no. I'm trying to get to a no as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Really, honestly. Because the more no's I get through, the more yeses I will get to.
Absolutely.
Right? I want to find out who, I don't want to waste their time, and I don't want to waste my time.
Yes.
Time is the one, you said it earlier, time is the one constant that we all have.
Yes.
Right?
Doesn't matter who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are. We only have so much. Right? And so it's that respect of time for both parties. Both parties. And that's another thing that I feel like when I sit down with a client and I'm consulting with them, I want to figure out, is there going to be that mutual respect of time? And if there's not a mutual respect of time, I don't know if I'm going to be the right fit for you.
I understand that. I mean, just like some of the same people that will avoid saying no to a sale are the same people that will yell at a server who didn't bring their refill fast enough. There's something in it. It's not that they don't want to avoid conflict always. They want to avoid conflicts where they don't feel like they can be an authoritarian figure. And that's another part of it. That's where, like Dr. Steve Lawson was talking about, it's emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get worried about that because, I don't want to tell you no. Just like how many times you had a friend that'll be like, oh yeah, I might be able to make it, and they never show up. And every time they say maybe, it's a no. But they won't ever just commit.
Right. Yeah, don't even tell me maybe. Just say no. Like, no, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Right.
Right, I totally can relate to that. I have a lot of friends that are like that, and it's like, dude, just be straightforward. Can we just be real in 2019?
Look, if you're not true to yourself, you'll be true to nothing.
Hey, I love it.
It starts there, because that person lies to themselves about why they hit the snooze button every morning, and that person lies to themselves about why they showed up late to work with a cup of Starbucks. Oh, it was the traffic. No, it was the Starbucks coffee you bought.
Yeah, or the fact that you didn't set your alarm clock earlier.
Right? Or how about go to bed earlier so you don't have to hit the snooze button?
Yeah.
I mean, look, even on days when you're tired and maybe you stayed up too late and you didn't, like, I'm out here running this conference on 3 hours of sleep because I couldn't sleep last night. But I gave the best I can. I'm not going to complain about it. I didn't wake up with my alarm went off at 5:30. I got up at 5:30.
Right.
And I do that. Whenever I set my alarm, I wake up.
That's the way I am too, man. I get my coffee right off the bat, though.
Don't start your day with a lie. Hitting snooze is lying to yourself because you're breaking the commitment you made the night before.
Love it, love it. So, what are some of the things that you like to teach people? What's your why behind this conference? Why are you doing this conference?
You know, my entire reason for doing what we do is to help other people get to the next place they want to be in their life, the next level that they have. And you know, it's the whole reason why we named the company Always Good was to go off of what pulled me out of my worst days. And you know, in the end, if I can't help them get there, then I do nothing. Right? So one day it'll be able to say Always Good has helped our clients earn $1 billion.
Love that. Yeah.
And you know, it's beginning with that end in mind, because you have to. Like, have you ever taken the tombstone test?
Tombstone test. No, I'm not familiar with that.
If you were to think right now, what do you want written on your tombstone when you die? And then operate your life off of that. Because I'm sure you don't want it to say he sold the most deals. He closed the most business.
Yeah.
I want two things written on my tombstone.
What do you want?
He always told the truth, and he helped as many people as he could.
Love that.
And that's it.
I see. I'm going to have to take a little bit of time to reflect on what I would like to have on my tombstone. So I don't have that answer.
It's not a question you want to take lightly. Reflect on it. But everyone should do it.
But no, that's great. I love that. It's just purpose, right? What's the legacy you want to leave behind? What do you want people to remember you for, right? And it's so important when you're working to try and align your values, your purpose, and your mission and your ministry, whatever that may be and whatever it looks like. If you can try to somehow align those values and your purpose with your income, this is something I feel like not a lot of people get to do. It's a blessing to be able to do both at the same time, because most
Why
people,
can't they?
They can. The problem with it is this. 70% of Americans are unhappy with what they do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're a lot of their job or whatever they do. There's no purpose behind it. They feel like it, right?
Yeah.
It's not what they love. They're not passionate about it, right? Now the problem is taking that leap of faith to leave what they are comfortable with, what they are used to, what they may even be good at,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I'm going to move over here, and maybe I'm not good at this yet. Maybe I'm going to fail, and maybe I'm going to lose my income and lose my house and have to sell my belongings. But are you willing to die for this? Are you willing to go through the struggles? Are you willing to go through that valley to ultimately get to the other side where there's, right?
That's what it takes.
The fruit.
That's what it takes.
That's what it takes. Not many people are willing to do what it takes. I don't feel like there are enough people out there that are willing to, and that's why I love our ministry. A lot of what we do is the same.
Yes.
We're trying to inspire people. We're trying to encourage people to think bigger,
Mm-hmm.
to be the best version of themselves. And what I find is there is a small percentage, right, that will actually, everyone gets inspired.
Yes, for moments.
Everybody will come to a conference like this and be like, oh, yeah, but there's a small percentage that when they leave this thing, when they leave out of here, will actually go and apply what you're teaching them
Mm-hmm.
to take that action to get to where they need to go.
And I'd love to think that I could change that. I can't.
I don't know. I don't think
I can't change the fact that there's going to be 20% of the people that will. But look, if you want to look at the Pareto distribution, people have the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
It's a mathematical formula.
Yep.
And it has been held constant in anything that involves true human skill. Everything they've tested throughout history. They've gone back and looked at what percentage of land was owned by what people. I mean, you break it all down, it doesn't change. The thing is, I think a lot of people just focus on all the things they don't like. Like, look, you don't like your job? How about you go in every day with a smile on your face? You greet everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Oh, my God, so nice to see you. How fast will you start to like the people you're around? How fast will that environment change?
Well, and I love that because you're absolutely right. Like, it reminds me when you're saying that, there was a news story that I saw on, what was on the news about the guy at McDonald's, Okay, so he's working at McDonald's, working in the drive-through, like, which is, probably not his career high,
Right.
in life.
I mean, I've done it. It's not a great job.
Yeah, it's probably not
my first job in life, but
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No offense if it's your 100th job, it doesn't matter.
But this guy had the right mindset that I'm going to make the best out of every day, and he would sing to, the people coming through the drive-through and stuff like that. Made people smile. They loved him. They laughed, and he got on the news for it. And I can't remember a story after that, but I know it opened up other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So because he took every day and made it always good.
Always
good, right? It opened other opportunities in life. And I know that that's the case. If you put your best foot forward every day, you will be the first person that they promote.
Yep.
You will be, hopefully. And if you're not, I'm going to give you some of my backstory. That's the reason why I left the auto industry, because I gave my all every single day. I was the top producer there every single year consistently, and they didn't. I was the number one choice. Everyone saw it. Everyone knew it, but management didn't want to move their top salesperson out of that position because they would lose their top salesperson. So they promoted other people. And so if you work for a company like that, if you see that, oh man, it starts to get you. You start to get like negative. You need to move. You need to move. You need to find a place that is going to nurture you and take care of you and reward you when you're doing positive things. Not a culture that's going to try to just.
I understand that entirely. So let me ask you, how many times did you interview for a management job?
I interviewed for a management job 3 times there because it didn't come up very often.
Yeah, they don't.
It didn't come up.
They don't.
Very often.
In most places, if you're in a sales department, you realize there's less manager jobs than there are sales jobs, and there's less director jobs than there are manager jobs. So I asked the question because most people stop at 1. So kudos to going to 3. So before I became the national sales manager at the last company I worked for, I interviewed 5 times for that role.
Wow.
In 4 years.
Wow.
Before I left the last retail job I ever had, I interviewed for 22 assistant store manager jobs. Wow. I didn't leave because I wanted to leave. I left because someone offered me a better job. So I left careers. So it depends on what it is. Every time I interviewed in retail, I didn't change me. Every time I interviewed at the last company before becoming national sales manager, I looked at me and I said, what needs to change in me to be the person that they just say yes to?
Right. Well, I remember I was 6 years in the auto industry. Again, top producer every single year. And always went in with positivity. I was going in there creating processes that were actually changing the culture in a positive way for the organization.
So you were doing more than you were paid for?
Way more.
Okay, you do that and there's not going to let you in, time to go.
And everybody knew it. Everybody saw it. And then I remember the GSM there, me and him, for whatever reason, I don't know why. This is one of those personality things.
Yep.
You're not going to get along with everybody. The GSM there, not that we didn't like each other, but we just, he had that kind of like politician style.
Yeah.
Where he's going to tell you one thing and do something else. He's going to smile and nod and shake his head and then behind the scenes he's going to be completely behind closed doors. Like he had that politician kind of sleaziness going on.
Yeah.
And I'm just very much transparent. I just want to be me. I want to be authentic and genuine, right? And so we didn't have, anyways. So I remember sitting down in his office and we're doing the interview. And, I knew I was the right person for the job. And I asked for the job. And he said, well, that's the good news is I don't have to make a decision right now. He says, I've got 90 days to make a decision, right? And I'd been there for 6 years already. And I told him, and maybe this was an arrogant thing to say, but I said, if I'm not ready after 6 years, then I won't be ready in 90 days. If I'm not ready now after 6 years of being here, if you don't see in me what I see in me, if you don't see that after 6 years, then what's 90 days going to do?
Nothing.
You want me to dance for you for 90 days is what you want me to do. You want me to be a puppet for 90 days. I mean, that's exactly the way I took it. I was like, you want me to be a puppet for 90 days and jump through all the hoops you want me to jump through. And if I've already jumped for 6 years.
Yeah. And it probably and like you're talking back to the purpose, your mission, what you really want to do. You're like, that's not worth even 90 days of being a puppet.
Yeah.
Because if it's the right purpose for you, if it's the mission for you in life, dance for 90 days.
Sure.
If it's not, get out.
Well, and thank God that he said that, because I left, right? Yeah. And I had to make some bold decisions, and I had to take that leap of faith, and it was the best move I ever made.
And now you're doing great things.
Oh yeah, I get to impact people's lives and make change instead of just handing them some keys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, everybody gets excited for their car when they buy it, new or used, for about 30 seconds. Yeah. And then it's right back to being what they drive every day.
There's not really a whole lot of sense of purpose.
No.
Behind
there's not,
selling a car.
There's no purpose
It's
there.
a transactional purchase.
It is, 100%, yeah.
It's transactional.
Even if you get referrals, it's still transactional. It doesn't really matter. It's not like, if you're selling homes, you're selling someone's home, and that's where the heart is, right?
Yep.
So then now you're talking about a truly impactful moment, because some people could have worked their whole lives just to buy a house, and then you've been part of that.
True.
And maybe you get that one or two people in 6 years that they've wanted to buy a brand new car for 20 years, and they finally bought one from you, that you really made them happier than they've ever been.
Yeah.
But I get to do that every day with every client I work with.
Yeah.
The same for you, I'm sure.
I just got yesterday, so I had a client come in, and we're doing some paperwork and stuff like that, and he comes in and he's like, "Hey man, I got great news." And I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "I just landed a job." And I'm like, "No way, awesome." So we give a high five. I'm like, "That's great," because that's a big part of what I do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's great." And he says, "So it's all about who you know, because one of the introductions that you made to a recruiter, they then introduced me to the hiring manager. I had to go out of town. I was visiting my parents in England, okay? And when I was there, I was doing the phone screening and all that stuff, and I used the technology that you teach in your workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I used BombBomb to stay in touch and follow up, and they loved the video email thing, the video email concept. They loved it, and they were reaching out to me, and he was so excited about it because it worked for him, and it worked. And he's like, "They hired me, and I can't believe it. And I can't," it was the connection, and it was the follow-up, and all this stuff. And
how'd that make you feel?
Cloud nine, because I'm like, not only are we helping him professionally as a client, okay, but forget that. That's great. That's awesome. But we have impacted his life.
Yep.
His family's life, his kids, the company that he works for. There's a trickle effect.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so the impact that we get to make on a daily basis, that makes it worthwhile. And that's our purpose. That's our ministry. And so, I think it's super important to connect with that.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, then you're just a salesperson. You're just selling.
Then, if nothing else, then do yourself a favor and connect to the fact that if you're selling a product or service to anyone, you are inherently adding value to them. If you can't connect with anything else, connect with that. And remember that you're just simply there to help them get what they want. And it can help you in the moments when you're working for the company you don't really like the most, or you're doing a job, you're selling something you don't really want, but you need the money, because we've all been there. But then do your best to find all of it. And maybe not everyone gets a chance to live their dreams. Maybe not. I think everyone has the ability to.
I think people underestimate what they are actually capable of. I meet so many people that I see more in them than they do in their self. I'm like, I can see it in you. I can see greatness in you. And if I could only just get you to see it and I can activate it, man, you could accomplish great things. I think most people have the abilities to do great things on this planet.
Yes.
But it's internal. It's their own mindset that keeps them from moving to a better place.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they look at the little things. It's like charity or giving, not even to charity. Let's say, like, I was at 54th Street Grill in the Colony, and it was something simple. I asked the server for something normally that I would for anybody else. And normally I get questions afterwards. They didn't hesitate. They instant. So when we came to pay the bill, and I only had a $100 bill, and it was a $20 tab, I said, "Keep the change." That though her life as a server, like she was floored. Yeah, that was still the most selfish thing I could have possibly done, was to give that much of a tip, because now I feel so good about me. So take the times to find those things you can do that are out over and above. To sell your client something, send them some cookies or a thank you card or whatever, and watch just how gracious they are for it, and then how great that makes you feel. So sometimes the selflessness is the most selfish thing you can do.
I like that. I like that a lot. Man, Mr. Always Good, this has been great. I appreciate you, and this is a great conference. So you guys, are you planning on doing another one?
March. We're going to be doing another one March of next year. We're going to have it a little bit further. We're going to do 2 days instead of one.
Okay.
We are going to pack the house 100%.
Nice.
So we're going to get things going on that. There'll be an announcement a little bit later on at the event.
So March 2020?
2020.
2020. Oh, that's right around the corner. You guys need to make sure that you connect with Mr. Always Good. Oh, camera's over here. Connect with Mr. Always Good and Next Level Sales Conference. If you're in sales, if you are even a job seeker that wants to better yourself and take yourself to that next level, it's not just sales technique. We're not in here learning how to close on people. That's not what we're here to do.
No.
We're here to take ourselves to the next level, to put ourselves in a better position, to be the best version of ourselves. I think this is more than just a sales conference.
It really is. In fact, next year it will be Next Level Summit.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Take the word sales out, because I don't know what it is about sales. People hate that word sales. They just they just hate it. So this is more than sales. I'm in here watching and listening, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is more than just sales. This is if you want to be the best version of yourself and take yourself to that next level.
This is where you want to be.
So 2020, March 2020, Next Level
Summit.
Make sure you're there.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, guys.